So there's a little bit of a shake-up in the top 10, my power ranking, that is, this week. But it's still basically the same teams, just maybe a couple in different orders. All right, we did the resume ranking earlier tonight. Please go check that out. It took me till 5 a.m. to finish that sucker. And then, well, I had to sleep in, wake up, watch NFL football. Oh, what a glorious weekend it has been for me. Michigan wins versus USC. They are not going to be in this top 10 as of yet, but they can be in the future coming up. Minnesota this week. Orgy, can he get better passing? Can we sustain the ground attack? And can Wink keep the defense looking very good? But for now, my top 10 is number one, never didn't change from last week, and number two, and number three, and number four are all the same from last week. Alabama is my number one team. They are 3-0. They have key wins versus Western Kentucky. Only one loss so far, and at Wisconsin, who they drubbed up there in jump around. Number two, and this is gonna be a showdown in Tuscaloosa versus my number one and number two teams this week. So that tells you number two stayed the same. Georgia, they're going to be playing Alabama on the road, but they are 3-0, and they have that huge win versus Clemson, and now Clemson is looking like a legitimate team. Actually, a pretty good team. They didn't look like it versus Georgia, so that's why they're still way up there for me. And then number three is Texas. They have the win at Michigan, which is the best win of the season so far. And then another win versus ULM, which is a one-loss team. They are going to be playing Mississippi State at home this week, who Florida just destroyed. So I think no problems there. Texas might move up if my top two teams have a very close game. They're probably going to stay 1-2. But if the loser loses by quite a bit and they actually look worse than Texas does, Texas can move up. For that matter, Ohio State could move up. They're finally playing somebody this week. They are number 4 in my ranking. They play at Michigan State. Now, Michigan State just took an L to Boston College, so Ohio State should roll over this game comfortably. And then number 5 for me is Tennessee, who moved up 2 spots from last week. After that victory on the road at Oklahoma, they proved that they have a legitimate defense. And the offense is always good enough there under Heupel and Amalivia at quarterback. Number 6 is Oregon. They moved down 1 spot from last week in my power ranking, but they have the good wins. Boise State and at Oregon State are 2 pretty good wins, and they are at UCLA this week. Oregon is finding themselves finally. They will be just fine. But like I said, Ohio State and Michigan are coming soon for Oregon. Do they play Penn State too? The meat of their schedule is still to come. All right. Let's see. Ole Miss is number 7, and the number 7, number 8, and number 9 have no good wins to speak of, but they look good enough for me to put them in these spots. Ole Miss gets Kentucky at home this week. If they perform well, I will feel a lot better about them being at number 7 in my ranking. Same for Penn State. Penn State has 4-0 Illinois at home this week. Penn State should win this game at home. We'll see. And then Miami is at number 9, same as last week. The one that dropped out is USC. I had them at number 8, but they lost to Michigan on the road. Miami is the same as Ole Miss in that they need a good performance versus a quality team at home, and that is Virginia Tech this week. Is it? They should handle them as well. All right. Number 10 in my rankings is Missouri. And that's the same from last week as well. They're 4-0. They beat Buffalo and Boston College. Now, they beat them, but it was closer games than I would have expected. That's why I have them way down here. They have a bye week this week, so could some teams pass them? Maybe. Like Utah, who has Arizona at home. Utah is number 11 for me. Remember, this is not a top 10. This is a top 12 because the playoff now has 12 teams in it. And I'll talk about who will get in as of now at the end of the video coming up here soon. But Utah got that win at Oklahoma State without Cam Rising. They are looking like the Big 12 representative to me. Now, the Big 12 has looked like a dumpster fire so far, but we knew that was going to be everyone beating each other up. But wow, Kansas State getting blown up by BYU. All these performances. Iowa State is coming up next. Can they be a Big 12 representative? But I think Utah right now, they're still waiting on Cam Rising. The backup looked pretty good, and we'll see. But they're number 11 right now. Number 12 is Iowa State. They both need to look a lot better if the Big 12 is going to get 2 teams into this playoff. They beat Iowa at Iowa this year, and Iowa is only a 1-loss team still so far. So they're number 12 right now, but at Houston will tell me a lot. They should go to Houston, a bad team, and beat them up. We shall see. So that's my top 12. Number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Georgia. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, Ohio State. Number 5, Tennessee. Number 6 is Oregon. Number 7 is Ole Miss. Number 8 is Penn State. Number 9 is Miami. Number 10 is Missouri. 11, Utah. And number 12 is Iowa State. So as of now, there are still 6 teams from the SEC in my playoff so far, and 3 from the Big 10 possible. Now, the ACC is going to get 1 representative. The Big 12 is going to get 1 representative, I believe, and the G5 will get 1 representative. So, but what about an undefeated Washington State? They are 4-0 and don't have a conference. They're an independent. They would take an at-large spot if they are undefeated. Now that Notre Dame probably cannot. So they have a conference, the Pac-2. If they go undefeated, I think they get an at-large spot. They've already beaten Texas Tech, Washington, and San Jose State. They're 4-0. So that is a scare for what teams? It's a scare for Missouri, Penn State, and either Utah or Iowa State. One of them teams will be left out as of right now because of the resume that Washington State has. Now let's talk about the group of 5 team that will be added. Who's it going to be? Memphis went down. Liberty had a scare. Is it still going to be them? Are they going to go undefeated? UCF, well, no, they're in the Big 12. James Madison just beat North Carolina, put 70 on them. Gave up 50, but good performance. They're undefeated. I think right now you're looking at Fresno State and Boise State, both with one loss in the Mountain West. That the winner of that game, I think, has the best chance of a Group of 5 team conference champion getting into the playoffs. So that's what I have on that front. So, wow. I think if that is the case, then probably, according to my ranking, Missouri would be left out. Penn State would be left out for Washington State and the Group of 5 representative. Utah or Iowa State will get in for the Big 12. Miami or Louisville is looking like going to be the ACC representative, and then a bunch of SEC teams because they have the wins, they have the record, they beat the teams they're supposed to beat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. That is the Week 5 Power Ranking, and it is subject to change, but go check out the resume ranking, please. Like I said, it took a lot of time. Like the videos, always, and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you, and go Blue. Hopefully they can get into this top 10 eventually. Minnesota this week. Let's go.